Hello and welcome to Divine Unisouls 11. This is your host, Divine Sunshine, coming to you with an energy reading of what's going on currently with the twin flame journey. One thing I would say that I noticed most definitely, there's some throat chakra energies that's going on between probably your person, whoever is not watching. But I don't like the term runner either, but the one who is, again, not watching or presently here is having some communication. So that'll be your other self or your counterpart is having issues with communications. Spirit had brought to me also earlier this morning about the understanding about this definition of energy and understanding about also the karmic cords, cutting cords. Spirit brought to me this saying that it wasn't, we kind of misunderstood when they talk about cords as if it is actually a rope that we're actually cutting. And they say think about it more so musically. If we combine the definition that K Moon had in talking about that, when we talk about karma, it's about a rippling effect of what has happened between some kind of action that's set forth by a person that's always felt through, no matter like different lives or karma or something that you set forth. Spirit has also had brought to me that the understanding that when we're talking about karma, the karma can also be one in which is like a energy, like a vibration. Thinking about it like a violin that you pluck the string and the vibration is still vibrating after you have plucked it, because I used to play violin. And how you can stop the vibration, you have to kind of like either you have to just put your finger down on it and it will kind of like stop the vibration of that string and doing that. But sometimes still is the vibration is still kind of going on through the air as far as that. So when we're talking about doing karmic and getting rid of that, to me they're saying it's like the residue or the resonance of the energies that has been put forth. And it's not about cutting. Is this more for is pretty much like a way of stopping the vibration. How do you clear it? How do you do that between you and this person, or between you and this thing, or between you, person, place, a thing? There's a vibration of energies, because even like they've been bringing to me, there's like places can be karmics. We're always thinking that it, because it holds a certain frequency of resonancies, that's almost like a haunted house. Why you saying it's carrying like bad vibrations, and it doesn't matter who moves into that house, those vibrations are still there. That's again karma. So you can't really like say cut the cords, but they're saying cords is like, again, like chords in music in which you play, and different chords play a very different frequency in a song or a vibration that's played. And you know, even when you're playing on the piano, you hit different chords together. Somebody like, oh my God, that's haunting, or oh my God, oh, that's nice and light. So you have to think about the vibrations of the energies that's happening between you and the other person, and how we need to be able to kind of clear the air and stop and let it go. So that's an energy. And they're saying when you're doing that, about that, it's like clearing the air of that energy. So energy can conflict and get rid of and go against another energy in order to be able to clear that. So like a flat or sharp, or being more so on resonance or on the same level, is something that we have to kind of remember again, or regular of that note is where we have to find very much balance with that frequency that we has gotten. But Spirit had brought to me is like, you know, you all keep on thinking about court. And we're talking about everything now they're bringing to us is the understanding that everything is energy. Everything's energy. My thing went off if you heard it. Understanding that also when we're talking about like going into situations or going with people or even with the twin flames, they brought to me also about this separation. Separation again, that each one of us, in order to really be divine, we're always saying we're really standing in our truth. That truth resonates in our energy field. And sometimes, again, if we are not in our truth, and let's say one person's in their truth and the other person is not, it's going to, again, repel that person from being able to be or hold into that energy field. So sometimes, again, if we're really truly standing in our divinity, we don't need to worry about somebody coming near that's not really of that, because after a while, because of the frequency of truth that we have in it, and the more elevated we become into standing as to into who we are, spirit has been bringing to me, it's like you don't need to really, they keep telling me this, you don't need to do anything on your part. You could just go ahead and just be, and you standing in your truth. And so that's why, again, sometimes your twins, the separation is called on, because either they're not standing in their truth and they can't come into your energy field, or you're not standing in your truth and you can't come into their energy field. So that goes back and forth. So some of that stuff, that separation is like I want, but then you have to think about it. Okay, we think about it as saying sources protecting. Again, yes, because maybe where they are not being in their core being truthful with where they are. So again, that's another reason why some of it is causing like separation or not coming together with a twin, because there's some, again, I've been seeing a lot of saying deceit, which means, it doesn't mean that they're lying to you, but it could also mean that, again, that they are not coming clean with being loyal to their own heart. And it's like they say, to thine own heart to be true. And so this is where it is. If you've seen on my community tab, you see that I had put there a picture of Christmas. And I've been saying this has been a really catchy catchphrase about Christmas in September. Now we think about Christmas in July, of course, the resident Christmas in December, but there is something that is getting ready to present itself, or a present or a gift that is going to be gifted. And I've been saying this all along. So, again, that we have not expected, or no, I got a fork in the road, or we have been asking for it, like the universe, like Santa Claus. Rather you believe or don't believe in them, whatever. Again, about Santa Claus and how they say, sit on my lap, tell me what you want. And then, some kind of way magically you go on Christmas Day and you wake up and there's Santa Claus right there. And so this is something that, again, that the universe is kind of cooking up something that we have asked for. And so that's happening in September. October, most definitely, you got the 1010 portal. To me, is like a 10, they almost bring me like Dances with the Stars. Really a 10. Really understanding, really whatever it is, starting off with a clean slate and ready to begin again, as well, because with the number 10s too as well, that's what's bringing to me. So whatever this thing that you have, to be really open and receptive, that it might cause you to be saying, oh, okay, I never would have thought I'd been in this position, okay, and here I am starting all over again. But this time it's different. This time you got a different mindset, you got different tools and resources that you have been, hopefully, again, through all these retrogrades. Spirit has, again, allowed you to be able to be introspective, reevaluate, reanalyze, revitalize, re-examine, all those things, so that when you do make this great reveal and all these retrogrades are letting up in October, that you are really truly ready. I know we had the equinox that's going on and the changing of the garden, the energies. I talked about that, even about the queen, and how, again, some of us now, there is also karmically about the energies, and this, now the universe is calling for that vibration that's been in the air between you, person, place, and the thing. It's time to stop. You can see them putting their fingers, the universe putting the finger on the string, and is now saying it's time to stop hitting that chord that you keep on strumming and playing in the universe, and it's saying it's time to pick a new chord for you to play as well, and to bring in that vibration of love and abundance and peace in your life. So this is all being called for because, again, like I said, you can see they're saying we're getting ready for now the bringing in the 50, the golden age, as well as the Aquarian age too, as well, which is allowing us to really think outside of the box, less on the 3D and more heavier on the 50 belief system and understanding about the world and how we operate in it, more spiritually, and as well. So it's a lot of so within, so without. So this is where we are with that as well. I'm trying to see, was there anything else they told me before I got on here that I wanted to talk about as well, but no. So I really wanted to tap in to see collectively, where are we as far as on the soul's journey, collectively, for the twin flames. Ask the spirit to tell me clear. Hey, pumpkin. I got my trusty little co-host here, my little pump. Okay, they got freedom in reverse, so I'm gonna say any other reversals. Let me state that so it'll be clarified and I won't be confused. Any of the reversals that come out are saying that it's really more intense and it is more of an emphasis on there as well. Yeah, at this time, I know I had talked about that, and it's not, I always want to say it's transfusion, but it's not that. There is understanding that where we are when this, with our partners and stuff, there is a what is it? Every time when I do that, and I know why, I cannot remember, because dialysis. Understanding that, when we're talking about that, and I said about that karmically, the energies is like that again, being purified and coming back in, and creating the change even karmically, as we are linking in. And I know I've talked about that as well as with our person, the understanding about the energies that's going on right now. This is things going on with them as well, so as us, that we are understanding that even not on with them, but they're saying about everything is now having this infinity flow, and being changed on one side to the other, and being washed and being transformed. This is something that we have to understand, that we really understand that we're all coming together. And they're saying again that when the student is ready, that again, that the teacher will appear, and they're talking about, as far as this is a little triggering, so I put a trigger warning on there, that some of us are now in some ways are getting like, not, it's almost like dialysis or transfusion, where the energies from our person, if they really are, I'm gonna say stuck on stupid, I don't like that, but I will put that because I keep on seeing Dolores Cannon here too, as I saying that, which she calls Mr. Stupid, which is your ego. Some of the divine masculines here really are wrestling with what's going on, and I watched somebody, who was that was saying that the divine masculine energies are doing the work, but something about them is not allowing for it to be shown in the 3D. 5D, they've been doing it. I think it might be Wicked, Virgo, Tarot, has been doing it, but something about them has not. And if you are talking or even speaking with your divine masculine, you can see there is something different underlying. But at the same time, as that is going on, it's like parallel lines. It's parallel to that growth that you can feel, and you're like, but it's not coming all the way fully to the forefront as far as how they're expressing it in the 3D. It's like I still feel that ego still there, and that's what it's called. That kind of like, to me, you being stuck on stupid, which is the stupid is again ego. Like you say, Mr. Stupid, although the heart is speaking the language, but for some of the divine masculines, that mind is still trying to override it. And this is where, again, that this energies that they're talking about. And like I said, this is trigger warning for some people, that some of them are finding that if they are not getting it together and they don't want to, and we know, just like Steve Tarot says about free will, of a understanding that, again, and I have been in that place where the other person is not willing to take on that mantle of being the divine counterpart or the divine person, that it get transferred to another. Rather, it's us being so powerful that we can be able to transfer in some ways that energy onto someone else to help to awaken them. This is where the soulmates pretty much journey or interception or intersecting, where they're intersecting with ours at this journey. I'd rather be perpendicular or whatever. I'm speaking a lot of geometry, as well as far as they're bringing them into their sacred self or awakening them. Our role is to maybe help and also be supported by them be supported by the soulmate that comes in too as well, but find ourselves as well as transferring some of those lessons of what maybe we could not have or occur with our person, and find it happening with this new person as well. I know this is something, again, that is very triggering, very controversial, but at the same time, understanding that, again, I don't know if I'm really 100% saying that, believing that, I remember I started off the journey, they were saying there was several twin flames that are out there, which it means there's several, like, to me, it'd be fractal of splitting off yourself into several other people, depending on maybe in your soul's contract or lessons that you wanted to have. Who knows? You might have said, split me up into 4 people, because, again, I'll be able to, the energies, again, that's the energy of frequency, sharing my energy field with so many other people, so that way I could be able to learn so much about the world, about myself, and be able to take that back to spirit or source, and helping them to understand about, what the trials and tribulations or challenges is to be a human, have a spirit having a human experience. Who knows? I don't know. Like I say, bit by bit, we're getting a little bit more opening and understanding as far as what's going on, what this journey is about. But I will say that, again, that it might be a time for some of you all, again, that you might feel, okay, I might want to learn in other avenues. I might want to use another source to be able to learn what love is. And that does not discredit you and your person, because, again, maybe yourself, your higher self, and your person higher self got together and say, okay, we're in this situation, this current situation. Maybe since I can't release myself from this, you could go on ahead and experience another person, so that we can get more data understanding what it is to be really truly loved. or just go and help in some things, some holes in your thing or your journey that you need to learn more from. Again, you might find yourself having that push for that too as well. I can see that happening for some. What I would say is to be as a cautionary tale, that's why they say a cautionary tale on that, is to also remember, and I can say all this conflict because the kids are conflicting about that, is just to remember your intentions, why you're doing it, not saying, okay, it's been 10 years or 15 years, he ain't came my way or she ain't came my way. Now I'm going to go do me. I'm going to do, like you said, the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. Watch that. You can tell when yourself is like, you know what, I think I would like the lesson of love. I think I would like the lesson of learning, this X, Y, and Z. And I don't think that my person is available right now, but I still would like to learn this. And so you would go on ahead and alchemize or magician, use that energy to go on ahead and say, for me to bring in that lesson, but it's still out of love to understand. I respect where you are. You might not be able to go and be the teacher I would love for you to be, but if you can, if this other person is willing and wants to step in to help me with some of these missing pieces, this is fine. Again, it's the expectations, looking for them to be a replacement or whatever like that. And sure, I think us on this journey, we have to get to a point to understanding that intentions is not a bad thing. I think a lot of times, just go with the flow, just go with the flow. But again, you don't want to be out there just kind of floating willy-nilly any old kind of way. You do want some kind of, again, direction or some kind of say in which you're like, okay, this is what I would like, but as always, this or something better, or to put me on the highest timeline. You know what is best for me. And so again, you have my permission to fill in the blanks to make sure that, again, this is coming out for my highest good. And so that's the thing about that. But I would say to be a little kind of leery and know yourself, really know thyself true. And if this is something truly that resonates in your heart and not something, again, that's in your mind and say, we got to do this. You could tell the shift in it, and it's much easier. It's much less of a like a push to be doing this. Okay, so I really wanted to make sure that I started, I like my coaching, and then I go into pulling of my cards as well. So right now, when we're talking about soul's journey, and I'm looking at it, it's talking about, we say freedom. I possessed the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Unbelievable. I just pulled a card, and that's just what I'm talking about. Just understanding that, right now we're giving ourselves permission to be happy. And I think a lot of us have, again, waiting on the person or whatever they're doing with their lessons. We semi have put ourselves on hold, or we've been so busy looking about what things we could be doing to, to get ourselves to end out of separation, or just really what we have experienced just in life, just growing up. Again, from society. And we're really going back in here and just really scratching all the rules and ideologies and beliefs that has been placed in us, that understanding, again, the pointing and spotlighting ourselves and our wants and needs. It's okay, because a lot of times, again, through society and us growing up, in our religious practices or beliefs or things like that, it's nothing wrong. But again, this turning and concentrating on self, being self-centered, is looked and shamed upon as that is so bad. You need to be humble at all times. But again, it's about also, now the name of the game is self-worth. Again, especially for the divine feminine energies, and most of the time, like they say, if you're the one who's watching, yes, the divine feminine energies, and in the female or in the male, those things, understanding your self-worth, there is freedom in that, in knowing who you are, becoming self-awareness. And that's what I did with the kids. We had did a lesson in SEL, which was talking about self-awareness, and they saying the more self-aware you are, the more aware you are of your own emotions, who you are, how you want to go about getting things, what is good, putting up healthy boundaries, being able to control yourself emotionally, all those things. So right now on this journey, this is what it is. It's about, what makes me, I play the 90s songs with my kids in my classroom. And it's about, again, what makes you happy, so happy, make you happy. This is the name of the game. So right now, the energies that we are, ooh, wow, that we are dealing with, it kind of just spilled all out over the place. It's about our abundance, cornucopia. Cornucopia means about what are we manifesting as well. I said the throat chakra, and the throat chakra came out number 39 with Archangel Gabriel, and which Gabriel is about communications, about how we're communicating. To me, since that's the masculine energy there, I would say again, in the that's on the card, I would say in our masculine energies, how we in the 3D physically communicating what we actually want, how we want to be happy, and then also about the got the six chakra here card came out, is how you visualizing that. So to me, again, that's so within, so without. It's a balance in the 3D on, so out, how are you expressing your happiness, and in the sixth chakra, how are you also seeing, visualizing, how you're letting spirit also help to fill in the blanks. And I did that on on my podcast about letting the universe fill in the blanks. Not you always, again, looking for answers and the questions and filling in too as well. Just say, I'm showing up. These are my intentions. These are my wishes. These are my demands, but I'm still leaving it up to the universe to kind of fill in and seeing if that's for my highest good. If not, hey, put me on the timeline that is for my highest good. So this is where we are. Abundance in distress. Then you have the number 11, which is balance. This communication here, as far as the card with the chakra, we have to get in alignment with spirit, soul, and body, but understanding that we have to end some cycles to make sure that we are in true alignment. That's why I was talking about that truth. And then we got the number 40 here, which means getting grounded, but also having that twin flame balance of spirit, soul, and body. They bring it to me about the elements too as well. You want to make sure that, again, everything is expressed in the fours, which means, again, the air, which means how you're thinking about things, stopping the kind of the conflict, and make sure you're getting grounded and rooted in that. You want to make sure that in water, which is your emotions, is all online. You got your fire, your actions that's going on with that, and then the earth, which will represent everything in the 3D and the material world too. You want to make sure you have that kind of balance of you seeing all those things, of how every element can be able to create this alchemy, but also as far as also be able to create this balance, and how is that being seen through your again, your third eye chakra, which is your sixth chakra. I mean, your third eye, which is your sixth chakra, as well. When we're talking about what's going on as far as changes for the twin flames, and I'm gonna say this across the board, is clear. For twin flames, you are, or I shifted again, so these two. The changes that twin flames collectively are going through is the card that came out was motivation. And I could understand that. Let me be your motivation. What is motivating you to truly become into your power of your true happiness, your own happiness? To me, is letting the bliss be really the center or the guide in which you are going after, or letting it feed you as far as the nectar, because the flower here is pink, but at the center of it is red, which means you got to get grounded and rooted, and let that, again, that what's motivating you, what's fueling you to be able to come into your bliss. One way it is again, according to what's this butterfly is orange, which lets me know that, again, you've got to, again, your connections, have healthy connections of how you're connecting to people. Again, like I said, get rid of that karma, that frequency that's going on between you and that person that's hitting those wrong chords, to change that chord to more of a higher frequency, or either to just stop playing. just like the song. If you stop playing and taking the string across the violin, or you stop using vibrato or vibrating your finger a certain way as you're doing the string there, you won't get any sound. So it's a two-way thing. The right is pulling the bow, which is causing the sound to come out, and then the other one is hitting certain specific notes with your left hand, which to me is the right is the one that's causing the sound, which will be the divine masculine energies. Has to do some type of, when you're bowing with your violin, which means you have to do some type of movement in the divine masculine. It means how you're moving, how you're going about standing in your power in the world on the outside. And the divine feminine energies, which will be your left hand, which you when you're doing the violin, is also doing the vibrato, is getting the tone, the certain key, a certain note, and then you can play around to make it sound a certain key or notes in the music that you're trying to play. So again, that's in your being. You're deciding what is the sound, what is the frequency that you're trying to, again, align yourself with, or you're out there selling to the world, or they're hearing. That goes with your heart. Again, your heart frequency, what's putting out there. And that's also what's causing again, through your actions or what you're doing, to cause that karma to do. So again, it's your motivation. I'm seeing the color brown when it has with this butterfly too. So that means there's a lot of things that's got to be eliminated, and then you're manifesting things through what's motivating you too. So you got to kind of, to me, that bring it to me to saying you got to kind of watch it, make sure that you are not doing things that are saying or thinking things as you're visualizing using your third eye chakra that is not in alignment with where you actually want to go. Your next thing here, what you have here is your how life is going to change. So how you're motivated is going to be changing, because you're going to see about the different notes and what things karmically, the music that you are playing, is it, again, the sound that's coming out, is that the frequency that you want to be vibrating in or sending out to others as well. And so you have the next thing, it's a new exercise program, which goes by just what I'm saying. What are you exercising out into the world? You got to come up with a new program, especially for this happiness. You can't be saying, "Ooh, I'm gonna need to lose 10 pounds," and you still stopping every day at Starbucks in the morning, going to McDonald's to go get your Big Mac and all that stuff. Stuff has got to change. You cannot keep on remaining to do the same thing and expecting the different results. That is truly called insanity. Same thing, just like what it's saying again. We have to make sure that we are watching again what our connections is, the things that we're connected to healthy, rather it's food, place of things. Some telling me about also we got to watch these times about addictions, how we might be even simply put shopping addictions, food, drinking, what things are we go to kind of help us to get out of the reality or dealing with what we have to deal with, and we use that as an outlet to numb ourselves and not to deal with it. They have the color purple here, which is again very much in the background. It's telling us about that our third eye chakra is very much, it says lucrative. It's very lucrative in giving us the resources and the things in abundance that we need. We just need to tap into that so we can be able to visualize and let source use that faculty or that chakra to be able to show us exactly the steps that we need in order to create that exercise program that we could stick by and can put us on the road to our happiness as well. And we also have to remember that with the sacral chakra there, how we manifest it there. But I'm seeing here again, it's very black and white. They're saying it's like the thing KISS. And I remember my sister gave me that poster, and she had colored it for me, which is keep it simple. It's really simple. And I'm seeing that coming back around again. And we still keep, I can hear David, oh, so miss you talking about keep it simple, sweetie. So yes, you need to make sure that you are doing that, because we're making things more complicated than it is. And I had a guy kind of semi tell me that too as well, saying, it's not you making it more than what it is. It's not. That's not really where I was coming from. Just take things as the face value. And you won't be finding yourself off track like that. So right now, what's a real change is the windfall, and to me, it seems like the winds are changing. I can see that card that's it has there is talking about change in the spirit as well. She's not, ain't nothing wrong with her. Jump on down and stop crying. Talk to her kid. So again, it's something about in the spirit that it is also bringing a new change of direction. Come on, get on down. New change of direction. It is also telling us that, again, in this change of direction in our spirit, it's also going to put us in the direction of our abundance. But we got to make sure that we are putting ourselves on the right road. It's almost like that. It's showing me like the Wizard of Oz. And I kind of had wanted to watch the Wiz, which is saying, again, we got to ease on down the road. That golden, that yellow brick road, which again will be the purest form of love, when we talk about spiritual love too as well, that is something that, again, in our heart, we think about the green and the green chakra, which is healing in our heart, but then most time if you tap into the gold is also from our heart. So again, where's the desires of our hearts? Our desires of our hearts lie within our heart, where our deepest wants and desires is there. So again, in order for us to have that, again, the windfall, they're showing me like a road. So a road in which we have to be able to take, and we got to choose which one that we're going to take to put us on our really divine path that we want to. And that's where it's going to lead us there. It's about following our heart. Our heart knows exactly what road that we need to take for that. So next thing, I want to check into the two energies as far as the divine feminine energies and the divine masculine energies as well. So especially I know we got this equinox. Oh Lord, something is not really being said. My throat is being really, it's been interested since lunchtime. But anyway, this part here. So let's look and see about the divine feminine energies. How about, hold on a second. Let's put it this way. The person who's watching and the person who is out there or not. We call it the lighthouse energy, which is the one who's staying there, being the lamp into the world, getting enlightenment, just being stationary right there in the process, grounding themselves in the spirituality, in their emotions, and getting understanding. So with that is they're asking for the one who is the lighthouse, or you the one who's watching, again, who's awakened. That's why you have the light like that, because you're a light into the world. Is again, is to keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type of expectations. And I said that earlier in my intro, in some ways, and I like how Steve Terrell said, that's just nothing but confirmation that what I'm saying is true, because it's hitting on what I just talked to you earlier. The Spirit had talked to me. And I say when you're saying soulmate means what matches up with your soul, what is connecting with your soul. Doesn't mean you have to have necessarily a soulmate, but I told you that on the other day. The Spirit has brought to me that soulmate is much more than just a person, that a soulmate can be a person, place, a thing. Wherever you have connected in your soul, that's your soulmate. And so this is, again, keep open mind. So wherever it is that, again, that you're feeling that is feeding your soul, that's helping you get yourself resonating with where you are in your heart, what's your true path, where's your true happiness, is right now that they're saying where you are might be a little different, or the road or wherever your heart is taking you might be a little bit more different than where you think you should be going. And I keep saying that now, and I know this is very triggering for some people, and some people might be saying, oh, well, I'm gone because she seemed like she's saying get off the twin flame journey. Not so, because they keep on telling me again that all roads still lead to Rome, which means again it doesn't matter which way you go, it's still going to lead you onto your truest person or your divinity or the person that's within you. And sometimes this is going to look a little different. So we've got to keep an open mind as to who is showing up. Okay, so even if it's something that tells you to go tomorrow, to go to a pet shelter, to go get a dog. Well, right now that's your soulmate showing up through that dog. And so that's again, that's where they want you to learn how to love is through the relationship or the connection through your dog. Whatever it is, could be your house. You might find yourself again saying, I'm going to do some home improvements with my house. Okay, so now your home improvement of your house is now your soulmate. You're connecting with that. You're trying to, again, those are the things that make you happy, is because, again, when you're a heart, you say, I want to come home to a home that is reflection of who I am. So that would be one thing. So you have to be open. Right now they're saying these things is not going to be very cookie cuttered or very templatey, or it's going to be a lot about what everybody in the community is saying, or society, or your mom or your dad, or whomever might even say this, that you might find yourself really going against the grain. And they're like, who are you at the end of the day? What the heck? What is this? Where are you doing? I don't understand. This is a little bit too much for me. So again, understanding that this is what they want us to do, because the card that came out was flexible in reverse, which means they really truly are emphasizing that they want you to understand that you got to be very flexible. It's flexible about things that's being manifested, because this young lady is orange and she's doing a back bend with her hands here about how she's communicating these things. And that's interesting. I'm really getting into this light language, and how the light language and through the frequency is really truly you're manipulating like matter, and doing the hands and things is like you really creating and moving matter and molecules and all these things around to create this thing to come into manifestation into the 3D. She's standing on top of this egg. To me, that's about new beginnings, and I'm seeing wheels here, which is also about creating turning of what's in the heart chakra, and understanding of keeping your heart with desires, keeping it moving. It almost will also be like it's kind of going around and around, but it could be in some ways like a labyrinth as well too. And what about by labyrinth is that you might find yourself going on turns and not knowing where the hell you exactly are going, but you know that again, whatever it is, you're going to find your way out. And so this is where the universe wants us to understand. We were talking about this flexibility. You might have to be find yourself flexible in ways that you're saying, I don't really know what the end result is going to be. What the hell am I actually going to be ending up doing here? But I just know that again, most like in labyrinths, in the center of when you came to the end of it, it was always some type of prize or some things that's waiting for you there. So again, it might be even with the toss and turns that you're going, you might even find at the center of it all, your person might be waiting right there. But you're saying in the meantime, you've turned so many people, things, soulmates, person, place, of things, karmic situations, whatever frequencies has been thrown your way have been there to help you to understand, okay, you're going the wrong way, turn, go to your left, go to your right. So this is one thing here, and I'm seeing here they have these flowers here. So there's a lot of growth here. And I talked about that on my podcast too as well. And I talked about the last thing that I had posted video, which was understanding that we're at the point where it is a growth mindset. Spirit is asking for us to have a growth mindset, less on an open, less on a fixed mindset. Because when you have a fixed mindset, you can't grow, you can't excel, and you can't learn from there. So it's very important that we understand that we are being asked to grow, to expand, to again to be expansive. They keep on using that as the new word, and I always say that on Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, which is Divine Sunshine's neighborhood, which is for us to become expansive with where we are, which means it allows room for things to come in, to join in, and for us to grow. All right, that's what they said about you that's watching. Now for the person who is out there in the world, as well, and are the explorers. And I call explorers, those are the ones that are out there venturing outside of the connection and say they want to get some more learning and understanding about the world outside of just you and them. So right now, oh wow. Okay, this is in reverse here. So we got the unrequited love. So the person who's on the outside of the connection is really truly learning the understanding of that where they are, there is no love. There's no, I was about to say, I'm in the open space. There's no fucks given, no F's given right now to them. Beforehand, I remember me doing the reading. He was not giving no F's, or she was giving no F's given in the divine masculine energies outside to other people. Now they understand, oh, not energy, they go by karmic, and that vibration and the chords I was hitting out there, now it's coming back and echoing back to me. And now I'm saying, where I'm in, they saying, yeah, well, right back at you, ain't no F's giving back to you. And so this is where it is. The divine person that's outside of it, it's exploring or not watching this, has been doing this stuff out of duty. I'm seeing the sword here is kind of on the side here. It's not pointing down, which is not good. That means you're not standing in your truth. It's just out there willy-nilly. It's just out there, the truth, which is not really, like I say, anchored in anything. I've been saying about this. The seed has been kind of really been going through the energies of the person who is not in the connection but outside of the connection. They're still in an infinity flow. They're just in their own little way there as well. But this is saying that they're not in there. And I'm seeing columns here. The column here is more so on the person that's having the divine feminine energies. Here in the divine feminine energies, it's like they're recognizing that, hey, when I look here, what's reflected back to me is this person is just standing here and they're not giving any, I don't know, I think I'm trying to learn the tarot, what each one represents. It looked like to me it's like the King of Swords kind of like energy, where it's just like, yeah, okay, this is nice, but they didn't get no feedback of it. It's like a person who is, I would say, not narcissistic or more self-centered or just in themselves and not believing because they got their own distortion and their own hurt and pain that they are dealing with. And so this person is like, okay, yes, I'm seeing you out of sense of duty, and this is what's being reflected. Thank you. This is what's being reflected back to that person to say that, again, this person is really not giving me no kind of attention. It's just like, I'm doing this, I'm bowing down to them, I'm taking their hand, and I'm kind of noticing this out of this duty, but again, I'm not getting this in return. And so then Spirit is bringing to me again, like I said, it's a lot of changes of courses. And I know sometimes when I'm listening to some of the readings here, and I'm like, that kind of sound like me, on the outside. So I would say I would look at this and saying in some ways that even if you would split yourself and say it doesn't have to do anything as far as I was saying the divine masculine energies, if you want to go the old fashioned route and you're saying the other one was the divine feminine energies, they're asking you in your being and your spirit to keep an open mind about things, to be flexible in your divine masculine energies is what I'm pulling here. If you want to look at it that way, it's unrequited love, and you're looking and seeing about, some of the things that in people's spirit that will represent the female that I'm seeing there is kind of like they're not giving it back to me. I'm seeing that in my divine masculine energies that I am doing things out of duty. I'm being very dutiful. As well. So now the structure and the foundation is more so in the feminine side, the understanding that now we're seeing what's reflected back to us, that there's no love, no F's being given to us, and now what do we do? And so, am I seeing Spirit has been talking? Spirit said, I've been like ancestors, guides, everybody else has been saying, we've been telling you all along, you have not been willing to move. And we've been seeing this unrequited love happening. I seen something fell out. here. Oh, I'm seeing children. So it's really affecting. I just turned over here and see the bottom of the deck. While I'm talking about this is children. And that's interesting. I had a dream about two dogs, and dogs, represents laugh, which is loyalty, authority, and friendliness. So that means, again, what are you loyal to? Again, how you standing in your own power about things, and then again, what are you connecting to? So again, this here, when I see the bottom of the deck, it's about children. This is affecting your new beginnings, your new opportunities the spirit is trying to bring to you. And in your masculine energies, how you're showing up in the world, again, the way in which you are mastering things, as far as your happiness and how that's going on, is really it's saying tested, or that's coming to the forefront, that you got to really exercise, like they said, that right. So you got to fight for the right to party. So again, you need to be able to do that because you want to make sure that you are truly into resonating with your happiness. In your divine feminine energies, you're really in this new beginning. You're trying to really nurture yourself, because I'm looking at the card. It's got one boy on one child on one side. It's got some female child on the other side, and she's holding the puppy. And that again is saying how you're nurturing yourself, to get ready for this new beginning, how you compassionate with yourself, how you being showing self-compassion, how you showing self-love, how you really forgiving yourself and self-compassion, loving yourself as you're going through this process too as well. This is all things that are actually coming out. So the unrequited love right now is leading you to really, actually came in reverse. So that means really the person outside, or even you want to say your divine masculine energies, whichever way you want to, needs to mend, especially when it's calling about in the spirit in themselves and the spirit on the people on the outside, because this came up mending as well. And it might be also mending with the divine feminine energies, as far as the inner child too as well. Understanding that, we got both of them out here. Unrequited love, looking and seeing about how are you again giving out in the 3D. How are you manifesting this? How are you again is showing up for you in the physical, in the 3D, when you're talking about in the masculine energies, the yang energies there too. I see stars here, so that means hopes, wishes, and dreams, fulfillment. Those things, how are those coming and actually manifesting? And you're seeing again maybe some things that again you've been pouring in, channels have been closed, and our spirit is bringing to your attention, like, why you keep knocking at that door? Why do you keep on showing up for that person? Why do you keep on doing this when you know that it's no love there? They trying to say it's love there, but there's no love, and you still showing up. How to deal with that? Is that truly in your happiness? In a divine feminine, the yin came out. So you got yin and yang. So with the yin, you have to remember again, how are you receiving? How is the flow of love coming towards you? How are you getting these things? So right now, where you are in this journey and understanding unrequited love and what makes you happy, you have to remember about, is the receiving, are you getting as much as you're receiving? Are you taking as much as you receive? Or is it a balance of flow from vice versa, from that person onto you? Because otherwise that needs to be looked upon. That needs to be another look at, especially they got stairs in the background. So to me, this is a leveling up about how you're receiving love. I would say even as far as maybe even how you're looking at how you're getting love in return. Some of it may not be unrequited. You have to look and see if sometimes there's woundings of abandonment, rejection, or exploitation, or those things are playing a part as to why you're not able to see how you are receiving love. So that might be something that you kind of got to look at and see again too. Is this my distortion coming out? Am I really exactly receiving love? I remember David had to kind of remind me on something, say, well, they did do what you said. You just don't like, it's not the way you had expected it, but they are answering what you're asking them for. And it's like, oh, okay. So again, that's something that we might have to kind of look at about how are we actually receiving love from people when we're in our divine masculine energies, or if this is the person on the outside, they're starting to look and seeing like, hey, I'm not receiving love the same way I do from my other person, my divine counterpart. This feel a little different. This, like someone say, this hits a little differently than that. And I know when I receive it from them, I know I'm receiving. From you, it's a question mark. It's like, is that like did you just throw? Are you being sarcastic, or does this have an after effect or reverb and what you just did, or am I going to pay for this later? Because when I receive for something, it's like it comes back with a little manipulation from you. I don't get that with my divine counterpart, So it's really helping them to know from the interaction that they have with you, the person who's watching. It's helping to really help them to define how they are receiving love now. And so the next card that came out is Loyal Heart. And that moves into that of understanding when we talk about loyal heart. Is the person looking in the same direction as you? Or is that person distracted? When you're having conversations as heart to heart, are they looking all over the place? Are they doing gaslighting? I was watching something and it's like, he's not hearing me. He's gaslighting me, on, was it Married at First Sight? And she's like, there he go criticizing me. And the therapist saying, I ain't hear no criticism. And she's like, but he is. And, and the guy said, that's not really what I had meant. And so again, sometimes in our conversations and when we're talking and we already come from a place of deficiency as far as how love was expressed to us, everything else is kind of like comes from that distortion. No matter what they do, it's not acceptable. What I'm figuring here, what he's talking about this loyal heart too as well, is this person really looking at you like you are the king or the queen or the empress or the emperor counterpart. And to me, when I'm picking up from this person that's on the outside, the energies, because I am like Steve says, I do like him say, I'm an energy empath. I read energy as well, and it's off the cards or whatever, off of persons or anything like that. What I'm feeling off with this person is like, again, when they look at them, they're not seeing them in that energy. And I'm seeing, and some of them say they're not looking at them from that energy anymore. Once upon a time, they were that, or they're not really seeing them for their true value. Like you, as the person who's watching him, you do watching me. It actually see this person for what they are. You see their value, and they're getting it. Before, you were seeing it so much that they couldn't even see it for themselves. And us being so empathic or twin flames, we're like, that's all right, I can love for the both of us. I can see how you are my king when you can't see when you're king. But see, that's not really helpful, because if if they're not seeing it for themselves, they're gonna keep on falling for the okie doke. They're going to keep on, again, looking for someone who's meeting that frequency that we go about that karma, hitting that same chord or that same thing, and that note that, again, it keeps that vibration and of, like I say, with the finger that keeps on hitting that vibrato, or that it's a better word. I know what it is. That helps it vibrate to make it sound pretty, but you're like, oh, that's such a soulful chord that they just hit, And so we have to remember with that, understanding this loyal heart, to be this unrequited love is helping them to really redefine. I'm picking up what it is to mean to be a loyal heart, or to have a person with a loyal heart in their energy field, or just be connected with, or just to say, I'm here and just to know you. I don't know why I'm hearing Julia Andrews' song, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So, getting to know that, getting to know that you like me. So now they're kind of at this point where they're saying, I'm getting to know that you really truly like me, like Sally feels, you like me, you really truly like me. It's like, you're not just giving me this award of this Oscar, but you really truly see my value, my acting abilities, what I'm bringing to the table through this connection, how I can really truly be a good, valuable partner. And this is what it is as a king or as your queen. Also, they're getting to the point to understanding, it looks like to me, I'm reading for this card, the next card that comes out is unfinished business. To me, this unrequited love situation that they're in is really solidifying to them that, hey, there's really some unfinished business between me and this person that, again, as Steve likes to call the person I'm talking about, I'm picking into the runner's energy. Understanding the person that's running from the connection or refuses to, in so many ways, seem like they're rebelling from the connection, is at the point that it's like, you know what, this really solidifies it's not over. And like the song I guess said, it's not over between you and me. It's just not. And this is really saying I got to go back and finish this up, because there's really a comma where it really should be either a period or not even a period, a semicolon, or whatever it is. But I didn't put so-called a period there to say it's the ending. And Source been telling me for the longest time, no, it ain't no period there. We put the period when we say it's over with. Almost they showing me a tombstone. Like we put it there when you got them dashes. So sunrise to sunset. When we put it then, that's when it's a period there. And even then it's still not a period, because you could continue on the other end or the other side. But this is something again that Spirit wants to understand, that again that's why being in these situations, with these karmic situations, with again of them understanding, again in the lesson, to be able to dojo, which is to really put them on the true path of where they need to go, is so needed, because it's the contrast, and I told you all about that. That the contrast, the counterbalance that's going on, which is helping them to understand that I've got to balance, because, again, even when you're tripping and falling, or you feel yourself falling, you keep on wobbling until you find yourself going to the opposite directions of where you're going to fall, until you kind of reset yourself to be able to be in realignment, to stand back up straight. And this is the same thing like when these situations come. Again, this is, to me, they're bringing to me so very strongly that this is really magnifying for this runner or this other person that's been fighting or not being really truly committed in this connection, to understand like, wow, it's really not finished. I got some work to be done. Even if the work is just them saying, I got to work on myself. Even if the work is saying, you as a person who's watching this and saying, and you say this is your divine masculine energies, the message you should be saying to you, it's still some work that's got to be done with me, especially when I'm talking about out in the world. There's still some work that's got to be done to me, as far as me is hitting the right notes, so I can create that good karma, or those getting rid of that connections that I had, the things that no longer suit me, because again, it seems like it needs to be finished, and I haven't finished it, especially when I'm talking about this unrequited love that is stopping me and blocking me from my actual happiness. So this is something in which Spirit is bringing us there as well. What things do we need to kind of work on at this point? I would like to have just one card, please. I don't want to be all day on this. Okay, so for the divine feminine energies, clear. Or not the divine, well, you could say divine feminine, or the person who's watching, or the lighthouse. For the lighthouse energies that's working here, what's the thing, the shadow work that they have to work on is, I was one card. Okay, what do they have to work? It came out and then I kept on messing with it. Clear. Yeah. Envious gluttony. To me, about this open-mindedness, and that's a good that it came out. Envious gluttony means that you still want more. It's like a still, okay, yeah, that's nice, but now what else? Okay, yes, that's nice, but yeah, what else? That's almost kind of remind me of a client that I had. And I was like, I don't know about this, because, again, I can feel in some ways that it's going to be a never ending of questioning. It's a never ending of pulling on things that inwardly of spirit within me, that I feel that in some ways that they are not going to be able to grow and to get it on their own. It felt like it would be a dependency. after a while. And so again, because it's like, again, I've had that even in talking with people, and it's like, okay, I gave you the answer, but you still ain't getting it because I gave you the answer. Because why? It's not what you want to hear, so you're still going to keep on asking the same question over again. This is what it is, like you're asking the universe. It's the same thing just with the client. You're going to keep on asking questions and over again to the universe, and the universe is saying, okay, I'm giving it to you. Okay, manifest this, I'm giving it to you. Manifest this, okay, I'm giving it to you. And each time it's like that I'm still looking, because that's not the way I thought this was going to show up. That's not the way I'm expecting it to. And so we got to remember that they're asking us, those who's watching, is to have an open mind again. And so again, by us having a fixed mindset, it's going to always, for us to never ending, always looking for answers, always looking for more. And this is not, I'm hearing the song like say more, more, more from the commercial. More, more, more. Okay, and so we don't want to get that point to, we're like energy zapping of, of people around us, because we're trying so much to get the answers that we seeking, and spirit is say, I've already gave you the answers, or I already told you what direction you need to go to. Let's go on ahead and try it, because we say be open-minded. It's not going to come in the way that you want it to. This is what we have to understand. That's the lesson for those of us that's listening to this and as watching this, or in divine feminine energies, if you want to say that, or the person who's the lighthouse, who's being the waking one who's listening and being stable in the connection and saying, I'm still here in my awakeness, and understanding the whole scope of things, understanding that, again, we can't get to the point that we're sucking and tiring ourselves and sucking all the resources and everything else. They bring it to me almost like watching, like reading over reader, or you just keep on looking for the answers outside from other people saying, help me with this, help me with that, and you're just not really looking within and opening up your mind to what your heart is telling you, what is the answers to things. When we're talking about the divine, the other one, I don't say divine master because he's been carried on there, but the one who is outside the connection, the one who is, again, you could say the runner, or the one who is maybe awakened but still saying, I'm going to use free will and act like as free willing and free myself out there, and need to understand that it's unrequited love out there, but to come back into the connection where you get a lot of love, is understand this obsession. And this came in reverse. So that means this is really emphasizing this person that's in this thing. And they got to learn how to deal with this, because whatever they are obsessed with, whether it's fortune, fame, money, sex, drug, and rock and roll, this thing here, again, is blinding them from being able to see truly the light, or the enlightenment, or the way, or the path in which they must go. As a matter of fact, it's making the mind kind of overgrown with all this gold stuff, not gold, but these little wiry things and thorn things coming out of their mind, and their eyes are covered. They're not even really focused on the light. They see it, but you can see them looking past the light, through the light. And it's like, to me, the enlightenment, like, the answer is that, but it's like, nah, it's got to be something beyond that. It's got to be more than that. And Spirit's like, no, it's the light. Look into the light and the answers are there. So the same thing. So even if you're not the runner and you want to split this energy and talk about it and turn it on yourself, there is something obsessed. Like I say, obsessed with the answer, obsessed with where you think this is going to go, obsessed with how you think things are going to end. You're using obsession, again, like I said earlier, to get yourself out of the situation, not to concentrate on the situation. Those things, you're obsessed by something. It could be obsessed by the pain. I thought about this, they were talking about here lately about this secondary gain. I've been talking about this before. And with the secondary gain, sometimes people in the MAT things, they use that because if they part from that, they don't know who they are. So like, again, you think about the story they used to give us was the grandmother, and the grandmother was in a lot of pain, And the doctor had told her, if you're going ahead and get this surgery, this is going to really alleviate you, and you're going to be able to, walk again, have your mobility back again. And then she was like, I don't know, I'm going to need to kind of think about it, because if I get my mobility back and I have this surgery, my daughter has moved me in with my grandkids, and my grandkids have really been doting on me. And, I love being there. And then once I get well, then they're going to ask me to go. So I don't know if I really want to have the surgery. And so this is, again, that's a secondary gain, because again, by her not agreeing to get well, which she could be, she's thinking that she has something to lose, which is the admiration, the feeling a part of the family, and those things. But you're like, but so you rather stick with the pain than to get relief, And so, I mean, you say how you spell relief, yeah. Oh, what a relief it is. You would want to get some Rolaids to help you to get out of it. But some of it's like that. To me, when we're talking about it, and back to the possession, some of us are, again, like in that worrying, like in that negative Nelly, that talking to ourselves. It's like, what would I be if I didn't have that? I didn't worry, And so that worrying, again, is an addiction. But then some of us, again, that is our body has like habitually have taken on this need to be able to worry. And then even when you're trying to create, I was listening to the other day, they were saying creating new situations, but because you are so, even if you want to create something different, you're going to, again, create that situation to come back again, because you're always expecting for it to happen a certain way. And so you have to really truly train yourself, like they say, through homeostasis, so that you don't go and reset yourself to that. And you got to really purposefully, intentionally, go and counteract that, and keep on asking yourself, or keep on reminding yourself and redirecting yourself to not go that way, because it's just easier for you to go, just like that grandmother, come up with reasons why it's beneficial to be where you are, even in the pain. And so that's something that we have to kind of remember, that about this obsession, whatever it is, like that, oh yeah, woe is me, I drink, and then, I had one friend like that, drink, get so drunk, don't remember where they are, and then the girlfriend would come and tend to them, put them in the bed, and get to fussing at them. Well, okay, in some ways, they're doing that because it's like, oh, I get attention, so that's why I know I want to stop drinking, but I'm going to keep on drinking because, again, I get attention from a girlfriend. She pampers me, she babies me, and then that's why I'm going to stay in there. So that's the secondary game with that. And it's like, okay, you know what, that's not really worth it. Isn't there other healthy ways you could get that attention? So this is kind of like where we are with this obsession. To me, the obsession, to me, in the shadow is almost, again, counterproductive to you not really being able to actually see that you are this person, the person that I'm picking up, and I'm picking up almost like third party energies, maybe this job or this marriage that they're in, that they're not really actually see the forest beyond the trees. They are not actually able to see that this it's no love being given here. There's no back and forth. You talk about you don't give a F, and they don't say they don't give a fudge, and you talk about you don't give a fudge, but you actually do give a fudge about what's going on there. And so now you're lying to yourself that you don't give a fudge about them not giving a fudge. And so now it's just a whole fudge factory that's being produced in this whole situation and this whole house. And so, somebody needed, again, to call Willy Wonka about this golden ticket, which will be Spirit, and Spirit has been presented to them, the Willy Wonka, the golden ticket, all along, but they keep on not taking it. And like, oh my God, that's impossible. You giving it to me. It's just that easy. I thought I was just coming here for the tour and enjoy the chocolate and whatever like that. But again, this is something that, again, the Spirit is trying to be given this person all along, but they have not been able to recognize this. And this is where the problem lies. And so we have to really truly understand this with that. So I'm going to move on into the next thing, which is what are as twin flames right now, spirit saying that we are destined for. They're putting on the road of destiny to do what? Clear. Let's put in a nice bow and this ended. They putting this on the road of destiny for adventures. Almost I heard like the love boat. And at the bottom of the deck they got illumination, which to me is to become more enlightened through the adventures that we experience. And they got this, what is this? This is some bird here, some tropical bird. So even with all of the things that they have represented in here, the flowers to me represents, they're very exotic, which lets me go back to what they're saying about the open mind, that we have to be open-minded about how things are going to show up. Exotic means very different, very unique. However, it's going to bring growth. It's going to bring blooms to new things and an opening, which means takes time. However, it's going to be beautiful. And then you have this bird here, which is very exotic. And this exotic bird, as far as what's going to be communicated, might be a different song, a different chord, and different frequency, a different note that you've ever heard before. Because again, I know even the birds we have here, City of Chicago, I've heard them cardinals giving a beautiful song and singing and things of that nature. And so again, this is going to be a different voice, different way of saying things, speaking or whatever. It's going to be different, especially if you're dealing with that unrequited love here. But there's also a flow of water, to me, spiritual waters, which is being able to cleanse the soul. And I told you about a new different way of meditating where you're bringing in the waters from the earth, you're grounding into that and letting it clear and go out through all the chakras from, again, the foot chakra all the way up from the root up into the crown chakra, and you're letting all that water pour out and to spill out to cleanse that away. So again, these new adventures are going to be a cleansing of the soul. It's going to help you to clear out a new path, a new way of looking at things, a new way of living. If you're just saying it's just an adventure, and we said that on the playground experience one time, to look at things as an adventure more so than a journey, because a journey seems like it's so hard, it's tasking, it's daunting, those things like that. But if you look at adventure, it's more fun. I think Spirit had, and I think Dad even told me that, and I said that in the last one, where Dad said look ahead, which is again for us to be able to look ahead. They said come aboard something exciting and new. The Love Boat, soon you'll be making another run. Yeah, if it's done right and you keep on looking at it from a fun, adventurous thing, then just like a kid on the ride at Six Flags in Great America, they're like, again, But if you look at it from the journey, you're like, oh, geez, it was so taxing. My God, I was met with so many dragons to slay and all this, and I lost my armor and my sword on my way of, slaying all these dragons myself and other people. And you're like, no, I don't want to do that again. That's a one-time shot for me. So this is again where we had to kind of bring that in. So we have to understand that again, like I said at the bottom of the deck, I seen the card illumination. I had to re-record again because my thing had stopped. But in case I did not say it, illumination was at the bottom of the deck, which means in these adventures we're going to get illumination. We're going to get a more understanding. We're going to get more enlightenment as to where we are as well. And so the last thing, what's the advice that Spirit wants to give us? Okay, and it could be as many cards as you needed, but what's the advice that they want us clear to walk away? Our spirit guides, the 18s, my spirit guides, whoever, the ancestors. What's the advice that you would like to give us, the collective, as we're going through this next phase? They gave us 3 cards. I like it. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 3 cards. And so as we end on this reading, we see that it's saying here, use your personal power. That means using personal power means use your power within. I told you about this unrequited love, looking for outside people to fill you in. That's not going to work. In this envious gluttony, to me, that's again usurping on the outside. It's not enough. I'm getting answers from you, from them, the guides, or keep on looking at readings or whatever like that. I'm looking for answers, all these things. Use your personal power to again the numbers, the synchronicities and things like that. Spirit said, that's gravy, that's a cherry on top. But really at the end of the day, where is it that again that you're gonna, your foundation of all to know that you're going in the right direction is your heart. Okay, and so use that, especially it says your feminine power, which means what's happening within. Whatever this question is saying no, and she's got her arms crossed. Your spirit's been, and then she's got these vibrations going off here. Whatever this energy and this vibration has been going on, you know what it is. It's been resonating off of you. Your divine feminine energy has been like, hell no. I done told you no. You keep on asking, the answer is no. I don't know no kind of different ways to tell you the answer is no. And so then again, she looking like she got her arms crossed, she leaned up against the wall, and she got one foot up, and it's like, okay, now where is this going? Okay, it's no. That's the same thing. What it is to this no, look to me is like this runner, the person who's not watching this energy is for them. It's like no, but I think it's kind of working. If I keep on going in, and I've seen it in somebody else's reading saying that the runner might try again through these energies a little bit, kind of dig in deeper, push up their sleeves, and go in there a little bit more, try to make it work. Maybe some kind of event might be coming up, and they're saying, okay, I think I could do this. I think if I try it this way, this might work. And this person is looking at them and it's like, no. It's like my kids asked me today, one of my rules is like when you come in, you can't go out, you can't use the washroom. Because the principal there just said they can't use the washroom. They keep on going in and out like that, and some of them has messed up the restroom. Honestly, paper, overflow, toilets, all different kind of madness like that. And so the kids said came right on in the door, dropped their things down, and looked at me and said, "Miss Booker," I was like, "Yeah, can I use the washroom?" I said, "Let me think about it." No. It's like, come on now. We done been all already. I say this every day, the same day, gonna script the thing. The answer, no, you can't go out. You got to go with your classroom. So, this is the same thing that it is. It's like, that's nice try, but the answer is still no. This is not the direction you should go, and there's no love there. Just like what you have been sensing intuitively, that this is actually what your answer is. And the last thing is divine timing. And again, like I said about the divine timing, and I've heard other people have used that too as well, understanding that again, divine timing is not about, okay, you may now go, my son, my daughter, you now have been knighted, or you now have permission to go and be with your divine counterpart or your other self. It's not about that. It's about, again, every person that plays a part in this has got to be ready. The person, let's say if they're in the third party energies, and we talk about this unrequited love, it's got to come to a part that this tower moment has got to come. And then some kind of big whatever fight that happens, or some kind of truth that's been told, really makes the other person say, okay, you know what, this ain't working for me. They got to get into the point that they like, yeah, you know what, this ain't working for me either. You saying no fudge giving, and I'm saying no fudge giving, and I'm like, really, let's call the whole thing off. That's divine timing, because you could have tried to do this a month ago, and a month ago the energies was not right, and the person probably say fudge you, and they saying fudge you, and then they like, okay, well, let's keep on trying at this. Now we're at the point that because of things have escalated and have built at this point, that now when they say fudge you, they say, yeah, fudge you, now I want a divorce. So my thing is, everything is divine timing. Maybe again they had to wait on some things. Again, the money is not right. We're not in COVID anymore. Now they say my money's got flowing back again. Now I can afford to get the divorce. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to kind of go into flow and play a part now. Maybe now I got this promotion, and now I'm able to pay for the alimony or the child support. I couldn't do it before. I know before when I say fudge it, I had to go back into it because I was like, damn, my money ain't right. I can't do this. I can't walk away. Hell. I'm like, what my teacher say? F my life. whatever like that. I got to go back in it. I don't want to be with her no more. Okay, and then let me go in here and put this roll on and act like everything's all right. And then I'm back in it again, back into this lie, this deceit that I'm telling myself. But now things is flowing, things is coming together. Or maybe even money, like they like F the money. This ain't working and I can't take it no more. My health is deteriorating. My mind ain't right. I'm forgetting things like this, and I'm having anxiety. Plus, I ain't never had anxiety before. I just can't take it no more. So you don't know, again, everything. The anxiety had to build. They had to get to the point that say I could do it. It didn't matter if I got the money or I don't. The kids are in a good space. Everything has to it has to play a part. Maybe they didn't have the right divorce lawyer back then, and they weren't helping them out. It seemed like they was with the making sure that the wife ended up with everything, but they ended up with nothing. They're like, okay, I got to find me another lawyer. Everything has got to kind of play a part. And maybe even I'm channeling now, some other members are now coming to the light and seeing about this other person and now are saying, damn, you right. They sure is. They evil as, somebody say they evil as F. That I see it now. Beforehand, I'm saying she's sweet as pie, but nah, baby. Yeah, you go ahead. I can see it. It's wearing down on you. You ain't like your light kind of fluffy self, comedic self. You ain't funny no more. You kind of snappy, irritated. What is this? And then they break down and tell them what it is. Well, then you got to get rid of her. You got to get rid of him. And so now everything now they're like, that's what I've been telling you, but you kept on telling me to go back in there and hang on in there, and I'm telling you it ain't working. So this is, where all the moving pieces, I'm tapping into somebody, all the moving pieces had to come together and say, now I got support. I got my good friend believe me now. And now when I walk away, I can feel I can do it because all of these things that came to a head. So that's what we're talking about, divine time. Spirit said, I've been telling you all along, but you had to kind of get to the point within yourself that you can do it. And that's the same thing, like even maybe this unrequited thing could be a job too as well. And it's Spirit been showing you all different kind of things. You, the person who's watching, and your divine master, this ain't working. But you're like, I'm going to keep on digging. Then before you know it, somebody says something on the job to you. You seen this other job opening. You say, well, maybe try this. I'll go on ahead and apply this. And then before you know it, you done found you another job. Everything had to work out. You had to wait until that job had an opening. That person had to get up and leave. Then you were able to go in there and apply for it. It's a lot of moving pieces. And we have to remember that divine timing is not about no stoplight, green, yellow, and red. And meaning you can go now. It's other things that's in play. All right then. So right now I say thank you so very much for listening. I know this was long, but this is to me is like an equinox altogether with the current energies of what's going on as well. And so I just want to bring you right now. I'm not doing any other personal things. I did one. And I was like, I don't regret because we don't take L's, we take lessons. It was a lesson learned to me to say again, when I say stop, to stop and to rest. And right now, I don't want to deal with any other kind of energies right now at this point, unless Spirit tells me to. I've had people ask for personal, and I say I put it on the back burner. I will let you know. I'm thinking around maybe October, I'll probably be a little bit, and I don't feel bad because I'm seeing a lot of other readers saying, let me kind of hold off a little bit and deal with my own stuff, and then I'll be ready to bring, to come back in full. But right now I can do these. This is fine because I think we need to coach and we need to talk and see we're not the only ones. But as far as me doing one-on-ones and all that other stuff, just press and pause, and I'll let you know when I'm ready to come back on. All right, then, to help you out with those. So, as always, thank you for listening. You can also go on my podcast. I do additional talking and messages the Spirit gives me called the Divinely Speaking Unplugged. Look in the community tab, and I told you about some new ones that I have uploaded on there too as well. You could do that. But until then, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste and Namago.